So when I first think about that, I think about how sophisticated businesses have become, and that program management and project management actually are a critical part of bringing everybody together. There's so many intricacies involved in bringing something to close, the communication involved in a lot of different things, that I think it's really critical to have someone in that realm.
When I think of project management, I think of kind of a Sherpa or a guide. And I just think it's really important. As business owners, we're often in a situation where we've got key business objectives we want to achieve. And it's really paramount that you have someone who knows what they're doing, anticipates the pitfalls, and can help you get to where you need to go.
I think there's multiple different factors that are contributing to the trend. First of all, I think with knowledge workers, many of them are in high demand and want to be able to direct their work towards things that they really like.
There's a subset of professionals that we like to call professionally ADD. And so these people are in a situation where they're often really, really marketable people. They're people that know they can find work. And at some point, when we find them, they're people that when they look back in their history, they'll see in their resume that they worked for XYZ Corporation for 7 years. The best part of that time was the 3 years they drove that project. They then worked at this other company for 4 years, and they loved implementing this or implementing that. And the maintenance of this stuff isn't interesting to them.
In addition, on the company side, many companies are running as lean as possible. Okay. And so they are looking at strategies to be able to keep full-time staff and keep a level of full-time staff that allows them to do the work that they need to do. But the strategy is bringing people in to pinpoint something that they need at that particular point in time.
When people are talking about millennials, I hear a lot about in the news that it's the loss about how millennials won't commit for longer than 1 or 2 years. I also hear employees say that they're kind of the loss of the job for life. And what we're realizing is as this flips, there's advantages to both. Again, what we said earlier, that consultants or contract people can go do just the work they like to do, which is, again, a great exchange. But then what's also great is I was talking to a friend of mine who's running a company, and they're growing very, very quickly through acquisitions. And he was looking for someone with a very specific skill set. And as he was describing it to me, I said, gosh, there isn't a person I know on this planet that could do all those things. And so instead of that, why don't you carve the job up into 6 or 7 pieces, and you can bring project people in that are great at this, that are passionate on doing those things, execute, and then roll it, and then go to the next step for your company to get it to the next level.
Yeah. At Salo, we really focus on providing business outcomes for our clients. So project management skills are very, very important to us as we look at people that come in to our organization. We look at it in a variety of different ways. One, we do extensive interviewing, and we have the interviews focus really on the outcomes that people have achieved in their lifetime and how they've gone about it. In addition, we do references and reference checking that ensure that what they have said in terms of what they've accomplished and what they've achieved to achieve those outcomes actually were true in how they did it.
Yeah. We're really looking for the history of success. So what we found is, again, when there's the big pushes around, systems implementations, for instance, and they're looking for project management skills to drive a implementation. We'll have a situation where a client wants a specific skill set. They must have Oracle to implement our Oracle system. Again, the question is this: would you rather have someone who's trained in Oracle, who has done one system implementation or hasn't done a system implementation, and may have been on or off budget, or would you rather have someone who's done 7 implementations of different systems all on budget, right? And so we find there's very specific skill sets out there, people that are really good at this, history of success, and when you can find those people, your outcome is more assured.
Our culture has always been very, very intentional. And we feel like even when you talk about cultures in companies, we see many of them as we work through our different clients. The culture always exists, and we feel the difference is either people who are intentional about it or it's unintentional and just sort of develops. So from the very beginning, we intended to build a culture around our personal values. And so I've always had a value of health, and so you can see a lot of the health initiatives that have come in there. One of John's John's many values is around fun, and you can see how that portrays itself in our office as well. And so when we look at that, we have had many programs, we've had many projects over the years. Sometimes we've worked with the Mayo Clinic and Dr. James Levine and how to have walking workstations, how to stand more during the workplace, and really innovative on that front. So Blue Zones is another one of those that we've done over time. So as the initiatives ebb and flow, clearly we have a project manager who runs a lot of the intricacies and details as it does, but it's not a job that is full-time all the time.
Right. I would say, we have many actions as a firm and business objectives. Some of those business objectives, again, are cultural focused, they're wellness focused, and so what we've done and what we determined to be successful is appoint someone as lead on these, someone who is responsible for driving that outcome. Again, whether it's a focus on better communication with customers, whether it's getting our consultants more engaged, whether it's getting our health initiatives. Having someone lead, run, direct, and manage those is really, really important to their success and implementation.
Yes, having someone to be accountable makes all the difference. Oh my gosh, there's so many factors that go into someone who leads detailed and many intricacies of a project. I think first and foremost, it's communication skills. How do people both see what's going on in not just in a project, but also as it relates to what's going on within the people, what's going on with the tasks, and being able to communicate across many different groups, understanding the constituencies and who wants to hear what and who needs to be involved. I think communication is one of the keys that sets good people apart from great. So when I think of different words of advice I would have people who are looking to work with us is that many project managers are known for being very organized, very specific in their task work. And I think the continued development on their own EQ, on their own development with people and communication, I always feel like the real difference between good and great is someone not only who can get the stuff done, but actually makes someone feel really great as they go about it. And so that they're communicating versus being asked for the information, it's like, oh, let me tell you, let me step in a really nice way is really, they're nuances, it's nuances. And we've had people say to us like, oh my gosh, I'm really good, I get this done, and you can just see they're abrasive. And so continuing to work on all aspects of a human, I think is one of the things.
There's an art and there's a science to it.
That's right, absolutely.
There's an art,